Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Abby's Window. I am going to be off camera because we have a storm, and for whatever reason, my camera's not working. It's fine. Nobody needs to see me anyway. Uh, we have
Gosh.
we have the one and only Jodie Gilly. Jodie, how are you today?
Fantastic.
That is good. That is good. Let's see. We're sorry for the delay, folks. Just want to say that. Um, running a little behind because of some weather and some internet issues. So thank you all for being patient. Yes, I am a little annoyed, so that's why I'm not my usual chipper self. Anyway, let's welcome in some folks real quick, and then we will get started. We have Odin's son. Um, we have James Chadwick.
Happy
Uh,
birthday.
We have Big Dan. Happy birthday, belated birthday to Big Dan. Happy birthday, early birthday to James Chadwick, Paul Healy, Connor, Brittany K, Shane Loki, Diana, Jason Peace. Let's see here. Who else we got? Oh, Shane Loki is his birthday too. Happy birthday, Shane Loki.
Happy
Got a lot of
birthday.
birthday. Yos, what's up, Yos? Ronnie Hood, what's up, Ronnie Hood? Rare Kitty Balloonicorn, what's up? Um,
That name.
I know. Gust, Gust, what's up? So, as we always do, this show is not just about our one of our favorites. I know one of my favorites, a lot of your favorites. But we also do a little segment we like to call Caleb's Corner. So, take it away, Jody.
I mean, what else can you say about Caleb that hasn't already been said? He's wonderful. He's incredibly talented. He looks really good in a suit. Um, and he's just to top it all off, he's a really good guy and he's really sweet. And he is, and this is not to say that he's not good on CD and recorded things because he's amazing, but seeing him live goes up about 10 more levels. And he's one of those performers, like he's so dynamic on stage that you can't look away, and he's so damn entertaining. It's so if he's anywhere near your city. Yes, James, he did post today about an announcement coming and put a bunch of British flags on it. So if he ends up being in England the same time I have my trip planned to England, I might just lose it. Because literally, what are the odds of that? Me being at home in England and visiting my family, and Caleb's there doing a concert. I mean, you can write a story like that. So I will be at the June 11th show, like I said, in Ohio. I will be at the June 18th show at Silverado's in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Not sure anymore about the family coming along. It might just be me, but yeah, I'm really excited about seeing him again. I'm really excited about meeting him again. Because he's got one of those infectious personalities, and you want to be around him all the time. So make sure you go check him out.
There you go. There's Caleb's Corner, brought to you by Jody, sponsored by someone.
Did I mention that he looked really good in a suit?
I think you did, but it's okay. You can mention that again.
Well, good doesn't quite describe it, but whew, that man in a suit. Mm. Okay.
There you go. Fashion, fashion by Jodie as well. Um, so there you go, guys. Look for a good suit. If you get a good suit and you look good in it,
You get
you'll
Jody's stamp of approval.
you'll get the stamp of approval. So there you go. All right. So we're going to go from a great moment. We're gonna do it like this. We got to get the BS out of the way. We got to get the bull crap, the stuff
Hey,
out of the way.
Connor, you said it, not me, but I 100% agree with that.
There you go. So we're gonna go from a pleasant segment to talking about a quote that is
Disgusting.
asinine to say the very least. Yes. So I'm gonna put that up on screen and read it, and then Jody's gonna discuss it. This is from Jim Cornette. So take that for what it's worth, folks. Hello, Alicia. All right. People want to know where Bray Wyatt is. I have no idea why. I have no idea why anybody is interested in the Fiend after the Firefly Funhouse and the Crispy Critter from the Canyon Creek got burned alive. Fiction, all that hocus pocus science fiction horror movie mumbo jumbo. The most insulting, rotten, embarrassing, fake, phony, bad BS I've ever seen in my many years of pro wrestling, and they still want to know where is he and when he's coming back. And if he wants to retire, I'm all in favor of it. I might have liked the guy, but when I saw the Fiend, nah. All right, there's that quote. Jody?
Jim Cornette wouldn't know a good storyline if it punched him in the dick. And that's assuming he even has one. So, in my opinion, he can go fuck himself with a cactus. That's
Good.
all I can say about that.
All right. Um, I I will say this about him. And you know, it is what it is. I'll share my quick 2 cents. Um, Not everything is for everyone, but because something is not for you doesn't mean you have to crap all over it.
Yep.
There are a lot of people, and we will talk about this later in this show, that connected with this character, that connect with Bray Wyatt, that love this character because of all of the ties to the horror movie, as he says, mumbo jumbo, and all of the cool things that this character did, and it is cool. Yes, supernatural, science fiction, all that stuff. Um, I tend to recall there's a character or a couple characters, but one prominently that just went into the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know if a lot of people have heard about him, but I think his name is the Undertaker.
That
And
Jim Cornette adored.
he
So,
adored.
yeah.
So there's that. Um, it's one of those things where like what you like, but you don't have to crap over something that other people like, and you don't have to be a nasty prick about it. And he was a bit of a nasty prick about it.
I'd like to see him go have a match where he's set on fire. Go for it. I guarantee you won't have the guts to do it. Not many people do, but Bray did. So, like I said, he can go fuck himself with a cactus.
So yeah, that's all the energy. Like honestly, that's all the energy that guy deserves. Um, it is what it is. So Jody said what she said. She's standing on that, and we're gonna go from that to a WWE Hall of Famer um, who is more optimistic, let's say, about Bray Wyatt coming back, and that's Booker T. And this is courtesy C Wrestling says, "Oh, and by the way, C Wrestling did the thumbnail, so I don't want to.
Thank you.
I don't want to take credit for that or it be assumed. So C Wrestling did that. Thank you, C. Um, C Wrestling, as a matter of fact, is here. Says if Jim Cornette hates supernatural stuff, can we have an agreement? If somehow Jim outlives some of us, we haunt him.
Hell yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So this we talked about this last episode, but wanted to bring up um the comments from Booker T. He says Pat McAfee actually mentioned Bray Wyatt on the show last night, meaning WrestleMania Backlash last week. I don't know if that's a precursor. I don't know if that's a signal, a spoiler, or a teaser. But normally there's a method to all the madness. Like I said, Pat McAfee mentioned Bray Wyatt on the show last night, so we don't know what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be surprised one bit if Bray Wyatt was to show up in the WWE. All right, Jody.
Those comments don't just happen for a reason. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think that Booker T makes comments like that just for the hell of it.
No, he doesn't.
I don't
He
know.
doesn't.
I like I said, last week, I'm down the rambling rabbit hole. I think it's all work.
You think it's all the work? You think he's gonna be back?
I don't know when, but I mean, he disappeared for about a year last time.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible that it might all be a work.
He could be back. I think I mean, let me ask you this: the significance of someone like Booker T saying that. What does that? What does that mean to you? What does that say to you?
I mean, like I said, Booker T doesn't say things just for the hell of it. I think he might know a little bit more than he's letting on. And he would know, certain things, I would think.
Well, I think that's interesting coming from him.
Yeah.
Basically, and that was, like I said, courtesy of Sports Kita. So, I think it's interesting coming from him because of his relationship with the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting being that, no, I'm not doing the Jeff Hardy comment, Chris. I I honestly have been off of social media most of the day today, and I have no idea what the Jeff Hardy comment is.
He said something about Danhausen doing a parody character of the Fiend.
Oh, I thought he meant like another. Not, I didn't mean your comment, Chris. I'm sorry. I thought there was another comment out there in the social media area. So yeah, why not? Let's go there. A parody of the Fiend. Do you think that could work?
I can't imagine Bray being happy about that. I don't know.
I mean, if it's done tastefully, do you think
Right.
he'd be okay?
Yeah, it has to be done in a certain way. And I definitely, if I were Danhausen, I would definitely be communicating with Windham about that. Because I would want his input, permission. I would want if that were me, I'd be asking for permission, not forgiveness, when it comes to Wyndham.
Yeah. What's up, Sean Suslowitz? C Wrestling saying just let Danhausen be Danhausen. Dude is super talented and doesn't need to be a parody of anyone.
Yeah. I mean, it might be funny as a one-off.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have no problem if they did it like one time. If they if they wanted to do, I can tell what kind of mood I'm in today. If they want to do like one of those big announcements that they always tease, and say, "Oh, we have a big announcement," and you have the lights go off, and all of a sudden you have Danhausen come out with a red light or something, nothing that's like directly Fiend or coming up with a mask. If you want to do like some different face paint or something like that, sure, why not? And have them, do something funny that way. But yeah, I think a one-off would be good.
Yeah, and kind of like Dan said, you've got to be careful about copyright infringement, and how pissed off WWE is going to be like that if you're very overtly mocking the Fiend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of factors involved with that.
So I'd be really careful with it. It might be safer just not to do it.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Mark says, "Hey Jody, I was thinking of all the matches that Windham had in WWE, and I feel like there was one match that is right up his alley, and yet I'm not sure if he ever did it. An Inferno match. Well, I mean, he did a match where he was lit on fire, Mark, with Randy Orton.
He also did that Ring of Fire match with Kane.
That is correct. That is correct. He says, I know Kane and Undertaker were in a few, but I feel like Bray would do great at that. He did. He was awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely right up his alley. He's good at the horror stuff, and that match that he had with Kane, the Ring of Fire match, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously the one that he had with Randy and being set on fire and still wrestling while he's on fire. That was that took some cojones, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Firefly Inferno match was good stuff. We were all in awe of that. And if you want to see the reactions, go back and check that video out. It was Hell in a Cell, I think, or TLC.
It was so good.
But it was good.
My nurse brain went a little crazy, obviously, because I'm seeing that he's on fire, and yeah, you immediately want to jump into rescue mode. But I'm glad that he was, not horribly injured, and that everything was, safe.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
As much as we love him, that's my biggest concern with him. I want to make sure that he's happy and that he's safe.
And I mean,
we need you around for a long time, Windham.
And honestly, like, you can take all of the precautions that you want to from a safety standpoint, but honestly, things can happen. So the fact, and we say this a lot on this channel, but the fact that these people, risk bodily harm for our entertainment, is a huge, kudos to them, for doing that. So yeah, I mean, the fact that he did that and wrestled or tried to continue to wrestle and move forward while he was on fire, nothing short of impressive.
Very impressive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. James Chadwick saying that was such good shit. Big Dan, Bray's Inferno match with Kane was at SummerSlam 2013. Really, that long ago?
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that like his first match too on the main roster?
One of his first. Yeah, one of his first. Let us know in the chat if that was like one of his first main roster.
Sure, it was his first match.
Yeah. Um, Connor asking, can we see a Bray, Eric, and Braun reunion?
They did at a meet and greet recently.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They posed for a few pictures.
They did.
Yeah. James Chadwick saying, think it was his first main roster match.
I thought so.
Thank you, James. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean they had that reunion. In terms of do we think it will happen in WWE or outside of WWE? What do you think the likelihood of that is?
Pretty low.
Pretty
Uh,
low.
yeah. I don't know why. I think for as much as we love the Wyatt family, I think he's good on his own. I like him on his own. I mean, I
Yeah.
like cult leader Bray, but he's I like him being the focus and being his own character, and I think there's just so many more possibilities when you're not in a group.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know has Eric Rowan been on not Eric. Yeah. Has he been on Control Your Narrative someone?
I don't think so. Just Braun
Gotcha.
or Adam. I mean, it's so weird to have to sometimes like
So
call them by their real name
to change it up, yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm so used to him being Braun Strowman, and
Eric Rowan and not Eric Redbeard.
yeah, and Bray Wyatt instead of Windham Rotunda. So it's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah. Let's see. Alicia saying, anybody watch the watch along of when the Fiend comes back burnt? Best video ever. Jodie's reaction, priceless.
I mean, everybody loves it. Everybody loved that moment because I don't think we were quite expecting it because we hadn't seen him since that match, and we were like, wait, what is that? And
Right.
we all just went nuts. It was, oh my gosh. That's one of my favorite moments too. So,
Yeah. That was awesome. If you get a chance, go check that out. We've even got that clip on the channel. So yeah.
I have
Go,
it clipped too.
go check it out.
Funny.
James Chadwick saying Wyatt family wouldn't be the same without Brody Lee, Luke Harper. I agree with that. Brittany K saying yes, he has been on Control Your Narrative.
Okay.
So, if Wyndham wanted to do that for one show, I mean, I'm sure he could gather the guys back and they could do something cool for one of those shows.
Hmm.
I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jeff Samuel, what's up? Thank you for joining. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting, and I gotta shout out C Wrestling again. He put out a video, with is the Fiend going to return at Hell in a Cell? Um, and there's some red light underneath the logo. Um, you had all of the mentions that we talked about. So I'm just gonna ask you, Jody, point blank, period. Um, do you think that he shows up again at Hell in a Cell? Less
No.
than a month away. You're saying no.
No. I don't think if he does come back, um, that it'll be that soon.
Okay. So you think there's still some time. If you had to put a guesstimate on it, just your best educated guess of when you think, it's obviously, we don't know for sure, But when do you think it could be?
I think it'll be sometime next year.
You think it'll be sometime next year?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you
If I
think?
had to, if I had to guess, I could see it being sometime next year
Do
because
you,
he's got some things he wants to do first.
do you think it'll be in a WWE ring?
It's possible. I'm maybe about 75% sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is that a little bit high? I think, given all the stuff that's happened recently, is that a little bit higher? Has that changed since all the recent stuff?
Yeah, because I mean, they don't mention people, typically don't mention people that have been released.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Big Dan saying, "What if they brought Windham back to WWE and he did sort of what Dustin Rhodes did in terms of duality, going from an evangelical type to a cult leader in his promos like Dustin did in 1997 with Goldust."
I could definitely see him potentially coming back at the Rumble.
Mm. At the Rumble.
Mm. In the Rumble.
Mm.
I would
Big,
like that.
yeah.
Come back in the Rumble. Because
Oh,
nobody would see that coming. And have him come out as not the Fiend.
right. That would be awesome. Odin's son
Could
saying,
have him come out as cult leader Bray, and that would really flip everybody out.
I guess my question would be this: if you had him come back at the Rumble and you really wanted to play this thing up, would you have him come back as several different faces?
You definitely could, like Mick Foley did. I don't know.
It's a possibility. Odin's son saying Bray returning will be at Mania or Raw after Mania. Big Dan saying, I'm guessing a Wyndham return could come at SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or Royal Rumble, or the night after WrestleMania 39 if he returns to WWE. James saying too many coincidences with name being mentioned a few times. Uh, Alicia saying what I think would be funny is if he did a TikTok or Insta video of a muscle man dance.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Although I guess it's not really much of a secret. Dude hates social media. So I really don't see him doing that ever.
Yeah. Rare Kitty Balloonicorn says I can see him return at SummerSlam. Let's see. C Wrestling saying WWE has 4 massive stadium shows in a row after Hell in a Cell. If there's a time to return him, it's for these massive shows.
If there was a time to return him, they should have never released him in the first place. Which they should have never released him in the first place. But yeah. I think he, like I've said before, I think he's in that special spot where he can wait for an offer of what he really wants. And he will wait for it. He'll wait until they offer him and give him what he wants. So,
Yeah. Let's see. James Chadwick says that's the worst kept secret ever. Gus. Gus
I know he's
saying,
been pretty open about that. Like he does not like social media.
no. Gus saying I can see him return on Wednesday at AEW.
I I think he's got some things to do first. Shoot, he's got a wedding to plan. Let the dude get married first.
I think that had that not, I don't know, maybe this was just his plan. I think maybe he's been holding off because of that. He knew that these things were coming up. Um, he's like, I want to get the wedding, I want to do the movie, I want to do all these other things. Um, I think that might be why he's waiting. What
Yeah,
do you think about that?
I think that's definitely part of it. That he's got a lot going on in his life. By the way, happy early birthday to Nash. Um, yes, Bray's getting married. um, so yeah, I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think like I said, he's waiting for the right contract that's going to give him the creative control that he wants. And he's got a lot going on in his life with the movie and other things that I know he wants to do, and getting married and having a family, and he's just really enjoying the work-life balance right now. It was all work, 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 work for such a long time. Now he's enjoying the life part,
Right. Right.
and can't fault him for it. I'd probably do the same thing.
Not at all. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah.
Larry Bongo 999 from Twitch says, I wish Impact had the money to just say, Wyndham, here's some cash. Let your imagination run wild. Don't worry, we own the TV channel.
I wish that too. I really do. I think we've been saying that since the beginning, that we'd really love to see him in Impact, because of them. They would build their show around him, and I think they would let him do what he wants.
Thus, no need to be sorry, buddy. Your opinion is safe here.
Same.
James Chadwick saying, just wondering if there is truly bad blood between Wyndham and WWE, or if they were able to, might have had some secret meetings to sort things out. I mean, he was in Dallas when they were in Dallas.
Yeah.
You would think that maybe they could have extended the olive branch if they didn't do it before then. What do you think?
I think it's very difficult to get on Wyndham's bad side. Um, so I don't know. I don't believe them to be, to be really bad blood. I know he was very upset about a few things, but I don't blame him for that. It's hard to watch someone distort your view, distort the story that you wanted to tell. But honestly, most jobs do that, and they never quite turn out how you want them to. So I don't know. I don't think there's like super bad blood, but I do think there's a story behind it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, and not just for like selfish reasons, just for wrestling, but hopefully they were able to patch some things up. Jen Carter saying, hello, Miss Abby. How are you doing, my friend? You got
Happy
a thumbs
to
up. Big Dan saying, I think if Cody Rhodes can come back, so can he. Never say never in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of moving parts in the wrestling business. So,
And I love that, Bray's one of those people that appreciates the fans and needs us just as much as we need him. And that's a rare quality in any sort of celebrity, famous person.
yeah. Well, speaking of that, I want to ask the chat this question because we're about to go into something else. A lot of people here, I know, we may have some people who watch that aren't, maybe Bray slash Wyndham isn't their favorite, but he's one of their favorites, or maybe they're just trying to learn more about him through this show, or pick up, share theories, or whatever the case may be. Um, but I want to know. I want people to give me their connection to Wyndham. Like, what is it about Wyndham that makes you a fan? What is it about Wyndham that that he's one of your favorites? Because we got a really cool tweet response that we're gonna go into right now. Um, gonna put that up on the screen. So we had someone that said, "My hero, Wyndham the Fiend." Um, you know, did that picture, that craze that was going on social media last week, where everyone kind of cartooned an image. Jody retweeted that and said, "I feel you, buddy. Wyndham saved my life. He will always be my superhero." And Wyndham replied and said, "And you guys saved mine." I think pretty
That's heavy.
that's pretty heavy. So,
Yeah.
and I want to say this before I go to Jody. I want to say this because I want to give Jody the proper time to share her feelings on this response, and and whatever she feels comfortable sharing. But I want to say this for people who don't get how characters connect with fans and how fans connect with characters. This interaction, this exchange is one of the cool things about connecting with someone that you really care about. Um, because you think that their entertainment is we think is for us, but a lot of times our reactions are for them and pull them out of dark times and pull them out of dark places and help them along. So Jody, just tell me your thoughts on getting that response um, and just and everything that meant to you.
I mean, he, ever since I discovered him and saw him in that first match that I watched, he's always popped up like that when I needed a boost. It's like he just instinctually knows um, when I need that kind of a boost. And you know, I I'll admit that I'm kind of in that same position right now with Caleb, although it was, I can say that Caleb saved my life too. But it was in a different way. With Caleb, it was more of a career crisis that, you know, the heavens opened and through his voice just kicked me in the face with a message. So, but with Wyndham, I was in such a dark life space when I found him. It wasn't just career based. It was my entire life. And my mom was going through breast cancer and she was 600 miles away from me in North Carolina. And I felt like, a failure as a daughter because I couldn't be there for her. And I'm a nurse, I'm supposed to be there for my mom. So I was having a really hard time with that. There was some pretty serious family drama going on that just, there was a lot. My husband got laid off from his job, and it just kind of kept feeling like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And right in the middle of all of that is when Bray came back to television with the Firefly Funhouse. And, both of these guys, both Wyndham and Caleb, just in their own special ways, just reminded me what joy felt like. Because both of those times I'd forgotten how to smile and didn't feel like I had much to smile about. And yeah, both of them in their own way just reminded me what joy felt like. So that's why, you know, I say that Wyndham will always be my superhero because And I've told him this too. I probably wouldn't be around if it wasn't for him. Can't say that I'd say the same about Caleb. Don't get me wrong. I love him, but um, I was in a dark place, when I found him too. But it was career based, and yeah, with Wyndham, I can 100% say that I would not be here without him, and it means so much um, as a fan to know that we've done things like that for him too, that he cares, that he loves us just as much as we love him, and he remembers people and remembers little details that you would think were insignificant, but he remembers things, and he really takes the time to get to know his fans and talk to them, and it's he's just a beautiful, beautiful soul, and he will always be my superhero.
There you go. And that, I mean, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but that response, I mean, the fact that he said that,
Yeah,
um,
I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I got some dust in my eye when I read that. Because
yeah, I mean,
it means
that's,
a lot.
yeah, it does. It does. So for people that don't get it, that's real impact. That's real life stuff that entertainment, like I say this too, like with music, there are certain albums and everything that I was in a dark place and it pulled me out of it.
Mhm.
Um, there are certain movies and actors that have turned in performances where I was like, man, that really inspired me and turned things around for me. So yeah, I mean I want to read a few of these that people are saying, that I want to ask you a couple more things, Jody. Big Dan saying Wyndham has a brilliant wrestling mind, and he saved my sanity when I went through a person's most horrible nightmare with his work in Weird Brothers and Raider Nation. Shane saying my favorite thing about Wyndham is his personality and how he just draws you in. Um, Odin's son saying he got me back into wrestling and it got my kids into wrestling. So it really brought me and my kids even more closer. He just made life um, better for me.
Mhm.
Um, Jeff Samuel saying, "This is so awesome, Jody, telling more stories. I love this. Thank you, Joe and Jeff, for getting Jody a platform. You guys are a blessing."
Yeah,
Brittany,
this show wouldn't be here without Wyndham saving my life.
right,
So,
right. Brittany saying, "That's what I told Adam Friday. If it weren't for him, Wyndham, Brody, and Rowan, I wouldn't be here." Um, what's up, Jason Michael? Um, James Chadwick saying, "One of the last matches my dad saw was with me. Was WrestleMania 31, Taker versus Bray Wyatt. Then he died 4 months later. I'll always respect and love him for that moment." Um, Deanna saying, "Y'all are too emotional. Stop it with the onions. People cutting onions in the room."
yeah, really
Um,
big ones.
that's that's I mean, moments like that, things like that. Where, I guess, Jody, let me ask you this: do you remember where you were when you first saw
Yes.
Bray?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was sitting in my living room in our old apartment, and Chris was trying to get me into wrestling, and I said, "Okay, show me some matches of people you think that I would like." And he pulled up and showed me the Ultimate Deletion match with him and Matt Hardy. Um, and I just sat there with my jaw on the floor. And after it, I was like, "Okay, I'm hooked. I like that guy." So the rest was history.
At that moment, like once you said, you know what, I like that guy. Did you? then start digging into all the old stuff, or did it take you a little bit before you started digging into the old stuff?
It took me a little while before I started digging into the old stuff. I think it wasn't until he was gone for a while that I was like, okay, let me go start looking at some of his old stuff. And then I went back and watched, the Ring of Fire match and all the tag team stuff between him and Matt and the Wyatt family stuff, and I just loved every minute of it. Went and watched The Man in the Woods, and there wasn't a single thing about it that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, the second he came back up on TV, I made that decision. I was like, I've got to meet him and tell him thank you for reminding me what joy felt like. And I made that same decision about Caleb too. And I did get to tell him that. I got to tell them both that. So
It's awesome. It's awesome. Jason Michael saying I was a big fan of Bray Wyatt's character, and he also made me stop stressing. Also, my grandpa and I watched his match with Undertaker, and his grandfather passed away in 2019. What's up, Derek Fleming? Yeah, that's why my camera's not on right now, is because the storm is doing something crazy. Deanna saying, in all seriousness, Wyndham means more than I can say for all he's done.
yeah, there will never be, for me, there will never be adequate words to tell both of these guys thank you. There just will never be enough adequate words.
Hanzo saying, I don't think if it wasn't for Cult Leader, Funhouse, Muscle Man, or The Fiend, my life would have taken a lot darker turn, especially during lockdown, especially the book. He could tell we love him. James Grant. James Grant saying, first time I watched Wyndham was a long, long time ago when he was known as Husky Harris in the Nexus, and I knew there was something about his skills. Jason saying I was too much of a character, wasn't too much of a character guy, and I love horror movies. But Bray took over before Taker, and Kane took a seat to see Bray creative. Jeff Samuel saying a Fiend character in WWE with his own idea. Who would have thought of that in WWE? But with the fire in head. Connor saying I was an Impact kid growing up, and then I discovered WWE and NXT. Then Bray was epic. He was awesome. When Luke Brody died, I cried for weeks.
I'm sure Wyndham did as well. That was his brother. That's hard.
Yeah, it's hard losing people. I mean, whether it's whether you kind of see that coming or it's completely unexpected, grief has a way of hitting in different ways, and we all process grief in different ways, and everyone has their own grieving process. So I'm sure it was it's tough for him. I know. I'm pretty sure when he got together with Adam and Eric and took that photo, I'm pretty sure that was a tough moment for them, for all of them.
For sure.
Hanzo saying, I still honestly believe, hand on my heart, Wyndham should have ended the streak 1,000% or second. At Taker's retirement at Survivor Series, Fiend should have taken him out or passed the torch on.
Yeah, I think we all wish that.
Yeah. Honestly, the Undertaker might even wish that.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could have been Bray or it could have been Roman. I mean, passing the torch on. Okay, so I have to ask you this because of let me read this from C, and then I want to ask you. this question to kind of end on a funny note, because I know we've been cutting onions for the last like 15 minutes, so I want to end it on a happy note. C Wrestling saying, I will never not appreciate when I met Wyndham after years, saying thank you to him. You all know my story, and him just saying no, no, no. Seriously, thank you, and him saying how much I helped his story, and just realizing how crazy this wacky world can be. Yeah.
I remember our phone conversation about it. That was probably like one of the funnest conversations I've ever had with C Wrestling on the phone. He's, there's a reason why he's one of my best friends.
Alicia saying, I've been in a very dark place for a long time. I had nothing, no family, friends. And Bray came on my TV and he helped and saved my life after 4 people said hello and changed my life forever. Let's see. James saying, Wyndham for me is such an important guy. I can still remember all the matches and feuds he had as the Fiend. That was my most favorite time watching him. I just loved the darkness behind the Fiend. All right, Jodie, I'm going to ask this to you and to the chat, and this is going to take us, the next 5 minutes. Give me a Bray Wyatt Fiend moment that made you laugh hysterically and just crack up and say, you know what, this dude is legit funny. Like he's just hilarious. And
Oh. Honestly, the thing that I can remember that made me laugh the most was during that second Muscle Man video with him running away from that pig. Like, I could not stop laughing. It was just, I don't know why. It was just so funny to see him run away from this pig.
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
James Chadwick saying snitches get stitches and witches be wildin'. That was pretty good.
Well, and even in person, like, he's a funny guy. He has a really awesome sense of humor.
Yeah, it's all good, Jesse. All good. I'm trying to think. There were a lot of really good and funny moments. This wasn't meant to be funny, but it was funny to me. The whole thing with him and Cena, like the first time around, when he had the kid singing, he's got the whole world in his hand.
Because Cena was freaked out.
Freaked out. And I just thought it was hilarious because you've seen Cena as this, he's the face of the company. He's, he's freaking John Cena. And you got Bray playing mind games with him, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm loving this. I was eating it up. So that
whole Firefly Funhouse match was pretty hilarious too.
it was great. It was great.
It was
Big Dan saying the Firefly Funhouse segments with the Muscle Man dancing, mentioning the reptilians, and basically any Firefly Funhouse segment. Jeff Samuel saying when Bray said witches be wilding with the arm folded. That was funny. Hanzo saying funniest moment when he won the Universal title for the first time as the Fiend at Saudi. He broke character. He mumbled, "Oh shit," when he forgot.
I remember that.
Oh,
emotional. I don't blame him for that.
Let's see. Rare Kitty Balloonicorn saying, for me, the feud between the Wyatts and the New Day.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, we got some laughs on the way out.
He's a funny guy. So
another moment when and you mentioned the Firefly Funhouse match. when they were doing the 80s thing
Yeah.
behind the cage
Yes.
and John Cena's lifting weights and he's just like egging them on and saying all these 80s catchphrases and all this stuff. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Deanna saying when he played peekaboo coming from under the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia saying when Taker sat up and he was upside down.
That was a good moment.
That was good. That was good. The you can look but you can't touch line in the firefight. That was good too.
Because the fact that it was against Cena just made it funnier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. He's a funny guy. He's a good dude. So.
All right, folks. Well, Jody, anything you got before we head out?
Wyndham, I love you. Caleb, I love you too. See you guys soon.
There you go. There you go. So it is 7:00 on the dot. And we are going to head out. Thank all of you for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. Sorry for the delay and the technical issues, but technology, things happen. Thank all of you for joining again. We will be back on Thursday for our Impact watch along at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. And then we'll do after the Impact after that at 10:15. So that's when we'll be back. Jesse saying Wyndham's birthday is in a week, and that's when my baby is due. Maybe your baby will be born on the same day. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. Take care. We love you. We'll see you next time.